I probably shouldn't be talking about them anymore because they're not competitors. Our competitors are really companies like Yotpo. Really is probably our biggest competitor. FIFO maybe a little bit. We're focusing on helping e-commerce businesses. That's where our focus is, and I don't think that's their focus.
I think you mentioned something quite key there when it comes to sort of the belief in the product as well. I think when you say you're burning cash, doubling down, you're not really. You're investing in that sort of belief.
Yeah.
And I think that sounds quite hippie-ish, and it sounds like start talking about holistic marketing stuff. But you essentially are. That's what you're doing. You invest in the brand with that.
Yeah, we're doubling down on the brand. We're trying to help the clients more by producing a better product, by updating the product so it's when people come out of lockdown, when our clients come out of lockdown, they do really well.
Yeah.
And they've got stars. Google seller ratings was great. That's a big thing. But it's not the be all and end all. Product reviews are way more important now. If I could stress to any e-com that doesn't have product reviews, get them. Even if you don't use us, get them. Just you get product reviews because they will increase your conversion. And it is an optimization technique, but it's a low cost one. And it increases your conversions, so your CPA is less. And,
I notice it firsthand. So I'm shopping around for odds and ends, and especially the likes of Amazon, where full well it's retailers that are bringing in stuff that's been manufactured themselves, manufactured on the cheap, and you just want to make sure, by and large, that it's a quality, because you're often let's face it, online more often than not you're buying on price. You're trying to find where can I get that solution, where can I get that whatever it is coffee maker that's going to be the cheapest price possible. I don't want it to fall to pieces on me. So
I want to get delivery, and I want to get it at a cheap price. But the internet, it is a weird place because it is that race to the bottom. As soon as you've got three resellers, sellers of a product, they're going to race to the bottom on price eventually. And the only way to really differentiate yourself is on your service, on your customer service and your delivery. And when I say service, I'm talking about your delivery, your logistics, and how you communicate. And they're the ways that you've got to improve. If you can get your price probably to be competitive, win the customer, delight the customer, next time you don't really have to compete so much on price. Because now if you can nurture that person into another product that's got a higher margin, that's how you're going to create a successful business.
And that's your danger with the likes of Amazon, where especially through the likes of Prime and their own warehouse, their FBA stuff. Like they're looking after the customer service. So you can't stand apart. You're literally, are you the cheapest on the product?
You've got no control. You know,
business. You're not growing your own business.
In Amazon, if it's a good product, Amazon's going to come and sell it on Amazon Basics. They look at the stats and they're going to go, right. I know somebody who was selling some trainers on there on Amazon, and then all of a sudden Amazon did it direct via at this, went at their price point. They worked out that it was good margin in that product, and now sell it direct. And he now competes with Amazon. Amazon weren't in the game before. If he never went on Amazon, Amazon never would have known about that range of products.
We've had similar stories with people selling headphones and things like that.
We got asked to talk to Amazon about some tech that we had, some fraud detection tech, and I read previously that they like to do these conversations, get companies in, and talk to them and pick the brains, and then go, we'll be in touch, and never get in touch. And I think there's there's a whole forums for it. Don't go and talk to Amazon. And I read this beforehand, so we did, and we were just really cagey about what we were doing. I mean, fraud technology is obviously a massive point. We filed a patent, and that got picked up by them, and they were like, "Oh, can you come and talk to us about this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you only want us to talk to us so you can
maneuver around it."
Just rip it off and just go, "There you go." But that's what it is. You've got to be switched on. I mean, I've had VC conversations, and then the VC's gone and invested in my competitor.
Wow.
And they never were going to invest in us ever.
Yeah.
They only wanted to do a call so that they could pick my brain about the market and then invest in the competitor. It was absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not green to those things anymore.
Yeah.
And, I try and teach other people who are coming through and saying, well,
So we've taken a lot on board from you already in terms of especially in terms of the expansion that you described.
Yeah.
So your COO, he's over in Australia.
Yeah.
Did he start out in the UK then?
Yeah. So Tom's ran some big businesses, nothing to do with tech. He loves tech.
Yeah.
But he's just good at operations, very good operations guy. Yeah. And he's very good at the bits that not that I'm not very good at, but I don't have mad passion for.
Yes.
And if you're not really passionate about those bits, it's better to get somebody in who is passionate about those bits. Okay. So he's very good on the, building teams and stuff like that. Like he is great at that. And that's what I'd say to you, Rich, is get somebody on board who works with you to take over those bits that you're not crazy passionate about, whether it's hiring, whether it's general HR and doing the not mundane tasks, because you don't do mundane tasks, but I don't want to.
They are out there. They are. Like probation templates and things like that.
There's just some stuff
all about probation templates and processes.
Yeah. I don't want to do.
Your energy's best spent somewhere else, isn't it? That's what it is.
Picking holes in what the designer's doing.
Yeah, that's it. I look the exciting stuff. It's like, well, what about if we change this and we do this?
Things you can visually see and move around. Yeah. Absolutely.
Making
things.
Not flipping worrying about Alison's day off on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good segue.
He doesn't worry about that. That's wrong. But I don't. Yeah. And it's just if you can, you've got to find somebody you can work with, someone you really like.
It's in point with in terms of our head of operations, where she's picked up HubSpot literally knows it inside out, like things like that. Interesting. I'll find my way around it, but I haven't got that passion to learn it and optimize what we're doing. Ollie, it's got to the point where she's training a team within the company on it, so getting the most out of developing. We've got that many workflows in HubSpot now. Making the most of those, and that's where, if it was left to me, that wouldn't happen, because I just want to be sitting there mainly looking at the product and looking at it from a sales perspective and going, if we change that, clients will really like that.
Yeah. That's exactly where I am, and maybe I don't know.
It's where your energy is best spent at the end of the day as well. If you're not into it, you're also not going to perform as well as you could doing it. So like you said there, Callum, it's worth getting someone who's into it, who's going to do it on a very simplistic bit, terms. So
just keep reading, Rich. Just keep reading books. That's all I do. Listen to books every day and just keep going, you know what? That's brilliant. I'll keep that. And I've not got it with me right now. And I have this book, my wife, every year I get a diary. I never use it as a diary. I just use it for the paper.
Yeah.
And I fill it full of daft ideas. Like the tracksuit. and so just keep listening and writing crap down when you see it.
Sounds more productive than me. My notepad on my phone right now is just full of controversial LinkedIn posts that I can post.
I wrote.
I get a rise out of people.
Here's a funny one, right? I wrote the business plan for reviews.io in notes in 2.5 hours during a movie with my kids. In the cinema. It was dark, the movie was rubbish, and I just on my phone, and it's 10 years ago now, and I just went dunk. I did everything, the SWOT analysis, everything, whole business plan notes on my phone, and I had that on there for years.
Wow.
And then it got deleted somehow. I don't know where it is. But it was the most amazing document because it was so short. I had to. I weren't on a keyboard and I weren't waffling. It was just
straight to the point.
This.
You weren't doing it for anyone else. You were doing it for you. For yourself.
It was, and then I was like to Nikki. I was like, when I got home, right, look at that. That's it. And fully mental.
Do you remember what the film was?
It was some cartoon. It wasn't very good. It wasn't. I love Pixar and I love all those movies, but this one was rubbish. I forget what it was. I don't know what it might have been. I don't think it was Romeo and Juliet. Something.
Oh wow! Yeah, I've seen that. That's shit.
It was a rubbish one. I'll ask the kids. Kids were about 6 and 7 and just thought it was great. I was just shoving them full of sugar while I was working. That's my experience with notes.
You mentioned the new widget.
Yeah.
I wanted to segue back on the product a little bit, just when you mentioned how closely you work with that team. Could you give us a rundown of the developments from the last one to this one?
So the last one basically was just a product review widget the same. And it pulled in the review, the rating, and some of the customer's details, and that was it.
Yeah.
And mid last year, we really looked at it and we said, well, there's trust there, but the problem is that some other review companies were sort of copying exactly that format, and they were putting fake reviews in it, and the trust was going down. I could see that, this format that we've got now isn't as trusted as what it should be. And we can do better. We can add more trust signals to these reviews.
Okay.
But then we looked at it and we thought, well, one thing we can do really easily is bring in city and country.
Yep.
And that's an option in this new widget. The other thing that we can bring in is customer attributes. So if I'll talk about Boxroll because I always talk about those guys. They're a great company. If you brought in customer attributes, you're building an affinity between me being the reviewer and you being the potential customer. And my attribute would be novice or amateur boxer in my thing, and it'd say, Callum, Leicester, United Kingdom, type novice. And now there's that thing, and when you're reading that review, you're reading it from that point of view of that customer attribute, and there's more trust there.
That's
and that's what we're trying to get now. So with this new widget, it does both customer and product attributes. So when I get the review invite, I can go, actually, it ran a bit big, and I can put that on. Or it ran a bit small, I can put that on. And now when you're reading that, it's not just 5 stars and me just talking.
You've got context then, haven't you?
And there's context, and that content adds trust. And that's what this new widget does, as well as being super fast and much faster than our old widget. It builds trust faster than the widget.
Okay.
And it gives more information. So you can also get user generated content on the page easier with it. So if I take a photo of me and my boxing hand wraps, that will be connected to the review, and that will then show on that page that user generated content, and that obviously builds trust as well. So it's all about trust. Our focus with this new widget is all about trust. It's not just about getting a review on a page, it's getting a review that people trust.
I think that's a big differentiator from the outside.
That's
piloting yourselves. They're still sort of subscribing to the quantitative thing where you're looking at the stars. With you guys, you're looking at the qualitative side of it.
Quality is everything. The quantity is gone. Quantity is it's a vanity number. It only matters to the CEO and the e-commerce director who goes, wants a pat off the back off the CEO for I've got 10,000 reviews. Once you've hit a couple of thousand, you don't, or 1,000 or a couple of hundred in some cases. That's not really your focus now. Your focus is getting reviews on your product pages that increase your conversion and decrease your returns.
I think that's a defensive relationship at first. Almost, it's almost that defensive thing of going, make sure we get our reviews up, make sure we get our, we want to be averaging 5 stars, 4.5 stars, 5 stars. Start that defensive thing. Once you've got enough on there, you can start going, actually, let's plot our way through this and let's start looking on the offensive. Let's start going, how can we make the most of this and actually use it as a conversion tool?
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree with that offense, defense type thing. You completely agree with it. I mean, a lot of customers came to us like that. We do want 5 stars.
Yeah.
We went, well, no, that's not the thing you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on that you want feedback from your customers, and you want to learn from that feedback from your customers, and so you get better. Not you want 5 stars, but that's the byproduct almost.
Yeah,
you've got to focus on the feedback, and the feedback should be of good quality and good enough quality to actually improve your business. So if your feedback comes back and your delivery, it keeps saying delivery, 1, 2, 3 stars, dude, you've got to change your delivery. And if you're not, you're not doing your job, and you're not listening to your customer.
What about things in terms of the thing that I guess we always get stuck up on a little bit is if negative review comes in and then you make changes to the business, but then that negative review still haunts you. It's almost like we're not that same company anymore. Like we made changes 3 months ago to whatever it is that it's got an issue with, but it's still there kind of thing.
I completely agree. We have that.
Explain it to every customer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people talk about that, to us, we get negative reviews, and you've got to take it on the chin, apologize and improve. Yeah. And if you write a good review or a good reply, your customers will see that and they'll go, what, actually, they've took it on the chin, they've learned from it, and now all of these other reviews have come in saying that they're happy with that bit, that element of the business. And that's just part and parcel. You getting a negative review every now and then is not the death of any business. As CEOs or directors, we think it is, and we overreact, and we go, I had one the other day, this guy, there's not, every now and then you get a dickhead.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then, right? So this guy, he's not a client, but we have it so that if people want to review a company, they don't have to be a client. And they a lot of people reviewed this company. Genuine reviews. We investigated all of them. They sent all the invoices through. We had to publish them. This is people's free speech, and it was genuine. These people were aggrieved by this company.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, if you don't take it down, I'm going to do this.
Yes, it's the old blackmail one.
Like he's talking DDoS, matters and all of this. So we're cool with that. We use a couple of different softwares to stop that. But he actually went as far as going to AWS and making a claim in AWS that we were similar to Parler and these right-wing sites that were allowing disinformation.
Whoa.
And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
That's crazy.
And the guys, this isn't a small business, multi-million pound business.
Yeah.
Office is in Ireland and America. And I hope the guy's listening to it, because he'll know who he is when I say Ireland and America. And AWS reached out and said, look, this is the complaint. And they actually gave me the complaint. And I was like, wow.
They've got to follow it up, haven't they?
They followed it up, and I replied back to AWS, and AWS were really happy and went, this is nonsense. But it just, that's how you shouldn't react. You really shouldn't react like that, because you're now focusing on removing these bad reviews rather than improving your business so you don't get bad reviews.
Yeah, completely.
And I guarantee you that business will not be around in a few years because they're not focusing on their customers. They're focusing on actually the wrong things.
Again, if that's the conduct at the top, what are you expecting when it starts trickling down? Like you said there, you can't, someone like that, if they've got that sort of decision-making head on them, what other bad decisions are they making throughout their
Who's got the time to go, right, I'm going to write this email, and it was proper, like, really, like, he even mentioned, like, very right-wing services that we were being likened to.
Wow.
For disinformation that he knew that AWS had a problem with.
Right, okay. Yeah.
You're just like, wow. He was thinking, AWS won't investigate it if I say this, they'll just go.
Yeah, it's just blanket fear and panic.
Yeah. I mean, quite shocking.
Yeah, that's not the only bad decision being made there. It doesn't happen in a vacuum, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
He's got with his couriers.
What?
Yeah.
Such in the relationship he's got with his couriers, that guy.
Oh.
He lit up every day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he doesn't live in a house. He definitely lives in an apartment block where there's somebody standing outside, stopping people getting into. But yeah, it's just that's the problem. That's the joys of the review industry, that you've got, we're the man in the middle. And well, I'm particularly the man in the middle at a lot of the time. And you're kind of getting fired from the consumer and the businesses. Mm-hmm. And we kind of have to always lean on the side of the consumer, being, as long as it's a genuine review.
Yeah.
We always lean on the side of the consumer, because at the end of the day, it's their free speech, it's their voice. And as long as they've not broken any of the rules like defamation, libel, mentioning staff names, because we don't allow staff bullying or anything like that. At the end of the day, these are employees of a company.
Cool. Yeah.
But that's probably the toughest part of the whole business, is managing that. That's
interesting, that, and you touched on it a bit there. It's sort of almost an opportunity to provide context for where you are going wrong and where you are changing things as well.
Yeah.
It's sort of something, if you are sort of answering it as you should be and you are taking it on board, it is a great opportunity to provide that bit of context for people who are potentially shopping with you.
It's crazy. Some of the biggest brands that we work with, like, really don't learn from what they're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I think, that's a key on that. I know we've gone really long here. Sorry for keeping you so long, Carl. It's been I've been enjoying it too much. We'll hopefully get you on again. I'll let you go. But before we do, what's next for reviews? What's this year looking like?
So our next focus is really on streamlining our products. Really, it's about focusing on the product and making it better for our consumers. Going back and looking at how we interact, how our products interact with consumers, and making that much better. Awesome. So trust is always high on our board. That's our North Star. If any way we can get more trust into the solution, then that's where we're heading. Mm-hmm. We're working a lot with, so one of our solutions that's not really that well known, but we're working on a lot, and that it will be the future. It is, there's two bits to the future for us, and that's product reviews. Mm-hmm. Sorry, video reviews of products, and identifying the brand, the power of the reviewer. So it's the power of the reviewer via basically using like an influencer model. Okay. So, right, this person's your brand advocate, but my brand power versus Justin Bieber's brand power is totally different.
Yes.
And if you, like, it's really trying to identify who your most powerful customer is and how then to harness that powerful customer to sell more products.
Amazing.
So that's kind of where we're working. That's what we're trying to do.
Cool.
Awesome. 2021. How do you find in terms of like what we've mentioned there, in terms of like some of the new widgets and things like that? Do you find your rivals or former rivals, I guess, like do you find them copying you?
Yeah. Yeah. But you've just got to keep moving. That's it.
Well, it must be for you going up against some of, say, the the bigger, more well-funded companies.
Yeah.
So we say, they must be slow-moving ships now in comparison.
Yeah, they're slow. They
are
slow moving.
They've probably got 10 times the developers you have, but that maneuverability goes out the window, doesn't it, when you get to that scale, I think. There's that much kind of red tape, I guess, and that many things then to sign off internally. Whereas you could still sit over a designer's shoulder and go, make this do it.
It really depends what kind of culture you've got. If you're a product-led business, I think even if you're massive, you can still develop and launch fast.
Yeah.
If you're a sales-led business, your development cycle is going to be much longer.
Yeah.
And that's kind of got to be it. So we're a product-led business, so we develop and design fast.
Yeah.
And that most of our competitors are sales-led businesses, which have had VC money. They've put 200 bums on seats and they're ringing non-stop. That's a different focus. Right now, I guarantee you by the end of, what are we in, Feb? By the end of Feb, somebody has launched Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, are all building clones of Clubhouse and we'll have them out by mid-March.
Yeah.
And because they're all developing fast.
Yeah.
Now, Clubhouse has been out for a while and they've been working on it, but I guarantee you they're all on it now. And that's exactly the same in the review space. If someone does something good, that's going to be developed. They're going to go for that. But you've got to keep moving.
Yeah. On to the next thing.
Constantly. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. I guarantee you right now there's in those 3-4 big social media companies, they're all either one trying to buy Clubhouse or they're trying to develop a clone of Clubhouse.
I like this because it's something we can revisit in future and see where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bring it up. I think it was well off or spot on. That's what I want to be.
I'm telling you, so there's no way that Facebook allows that many people to be inside an app
somewhere else.
Yeah.
That they don't own.
Yeah.
There's no way. If you was one of the, I think it's Mark Andreessen who's the top investor in Clubhouse, and I think he's also on the board of Facebook, which is mental. So,
wow, okay.
You'd fancy Facebook being the acquirer.
Yeah.
I like that.
I call it now. Facebook buys them.
Perfect place to leave it. Right, Cal, thank you so much. That's been one of the best ones we've done, I think. We'll get you on again. Hopefully, we'll get another one in the can. But
we'll get the update about Clubhouse.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Right, thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, buddy.
Awesome. Cheers for that. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Rich. Have a good one, mate. Have a good day.
See you later, mate. Thank you very much.